Just before we jump on the charts, let me just, because we often get asked this, I'll very quickly just point you in the directions for various things. This is Anna's site, annacooling.com, and you'll find all the details on live streams. We've got various videos down here. But what I wanted to highlight here is really on the books. We've now got full color paperbacks available, which I know a lot of people have been asking for over the years. So they are available now. So it's not just black and white. We've got the full color paperback. And also, I think it was early in this year, start of the year, Anna recorded the audio version. So you've got the audio version as well of A Complete Guide, plus all the other books. They're all up on Amazon, where you can find them, and in various other places. We're also on Google Play and on Apple's platform as well. This is where you'll find all the indicators over at quantumtrading.com for all the various platforms. That's MetaTrader 4.5, NinjaTrader, TradingView, and TradeStation. I'm going to be on TradingView today because it's just a wonderful platform. It's browser-based, so you can use it on any device, and you can use it on your mobile device as well, iOS as well. So it's fantastic. Just a great platform. And before I forget, if you do invest in the full package of indicators with us, you get all the indicators that we develop in the future for free. They become complimentary to you. It's something we've always done. We've been going now 12 or 13 years, and it's something we've always offered to every single customer. If you buy the full package, doesn't matter which platform it's for, any indicators we've developed in the future, you will get those bolted into your account for free. Finally, just the quantum trading education site. These sessions and also videos that we put up on Anna's X feed, where she has a lot of followers, on Facebook, they will introduce you to the principles of volume price analysis through the books, through those videos. But if you want to take a deep dive into VPA, then you can do so through the education programs, which are over at quantumtradingeducation.com. We have a program for stocks, and we have a program for Forex. And you, in addition to that, you get some of the indicators as well, bundled into that as well. So that's where to find everything. Okay, let's hop back over to this tab. This is, I'm just on the MNQ because just want to give you an idea of sentiment, primarily because if we pop this up full size, there we go. Yesterday was an important day. Why was it important? Because we broke out of a congestion phase, which had been going on for well over a week, almost 2 weeks. We're in up, down, around this sort of level, around just below, just above 23,000. And yesterday was a very positive day, helped by that news that Anna referenced. So we had a nice upspread candle, good volume under that. So volume and price are in agreement, very straightforward. And the index is now looking to push higher. So we're very much in risk on territory at the moment in terms of broad sentiment across the market. Now, let me just pop this 2-minute chart up, because what I want to follow on is really what Anna was talking about, was the volatility. We have volatility, which is a key component in options. I'm not going to go down there. But the volatility that we're looking at here is on the price chart. It is around the price. And as Anna said, it is always associated with market maker participation, or in some cases, as we have here, a lack of participation. In other words, a trap move. And the reason it is so powerful is because it triggers that fear of missing out, FOMO. So when we see the price shoot up in this way, very quickly, we see it breaking out from a mini congestion phase. Bear in mind, this is a 2-minute chart. A ton of volume comes in. The market makers are participating. They force the price up very, very fast. You can imagine all the traders jumping in on that, thinking, oh, we're going to go to the moon. Let's make some quick bucks. What happens? One of two things. When we get a trigger to the upside, we're either going to go sideways or we are going to reverse. In this occasion, we went into congestion. That is painful, to sit through congestion of 10, 12, 14 minutes, however long it is. You don't want to sit through congestion, and you certainly don't want to have a reversal against you. And this is the power that the market makers have. The insiders, they create this volatile reaction in price. It moves very quickly. Your instinct will be to jump on the trade because you don't want to miss out on some easy money. And inevitably, what happens is one of two things with this indicator. You either get congestion or you get a full-blown reversal. And that's what happens. It is an immensely powerful indicator. It's very simple in design. The most important aspect of it is that it triggers in real time. And by that, I mean you don't have to wait for the candle to close. So whether the metric is met after 10 seconds, 50 seconds, a minute, minute and a half, however long, these little triangles will instantly warn you that you've got volatility, which is associated with market makers' participation, and therefore you've got to be careful. If you're not in there, you stay out and you wait for that to clear either the ultimate high or the ultimate low of that indicator, and then you can assume that the volatility from that phase has passed. We then go on to the next session, we get another volatility candle, we go into sideways again, and this is the one where we got the trap move. Because if you look at the volume associated with this candle, it's a fraction of what was going on here. And this all goes to the heart of volume price analysis, which is about benchmarking, where we look at candles and we look at their related size and the associated volume. And clearly, if that's a benchmark candle where we had a ton of volume to move it that far, this has gone pretty much the same distance on a fraction of that volume. So what's happened here is this is a classic trap move. The market makers have simply moved the price up. They have not bothered participating because the volume is well below what it should be. And therefore, you can assume that we are seeing a straightforward trap move, which is exactly what happens. And the market comes down. And then we see participation again on this candle, which is a candle to the downside. Now, if we see a trigger to the downside, what do we expect? Congestion or reversal. We've got full-blown congestion, goes on for a while. We get another volatility candle here. What is that telling us? It's to the upside, it's green, so we're going to see a reversal to the downside, or congestion. We get a reversal to the downside. Now we're starting to break out. We're building a base, and we're starting to move away. That is the power of the volatility candle. You'll see it in all time frames. This is on 15 second, which is absurdly fast for most people, but it's one that I use a lot. Exactly the same principle here. Snap to the upside, and down we come. Snap to the downside, congestion, up we go. Now we've got one up here. We've got a candle to the upside. We're coming down. And I won't go into the VPA at the moment, but that is the volatility candle. It's immensely powerful, and it's a ridiculous price, to be perfectly honest, for what it is. It will keep you out of trouble in all time frames, whether you're looking at it from the daily right the way down to, as we've seen there, a 15 second, 30 second, whatever. Let's hop over onto cable, see what we've got going on cable. Let's go down onto, again, just staying with the volatility candles for a moment. We've only got one here. Again, you see the volume associated with it. What do we get? We get congestion. And now we're starting to break out. And this is the key thing. Once we start to break away either from the upper level or from the lower level, then you can safely assume that the volatility associated with that particular price candle has now been absorbed. It's been dissipated, if you like. It's been absorbed into the general price action. And it's a very simple rule that once we move away from that, we can now say, okay, we are now back into straightforward price action. In other words, genuine price action moving higher and lower. So that was on the 3 minute. Let's just see if we've got any on the 5 minute. No, nothing on the 5 minute. We had this very nice move to the downside and very simple VPA lessons in this move. We get some weakness coming in here. Why? Because the market's trying to rally, it falls back. We come down to this level, we move into a little mini congestion phase. What's happening here? Well, we've got a little rally going on. But does that rally have strength or does it have weakness? And what's clear is it has weakness. Why? For two reasons. Firstly, because the spreads are very narrow. That's the first indication, because if you're going to see a decent rally, then you want to see things like this, where you've got widening spreads, candles with some meaning to them. But here we have narrow spreads. And in addition to that, we've also got falling volume. So the volume's falling here. So what does that tell you? Well, it's an anomaly. Why is it an anomaly? Because for price to move higher, we need to see rising volume with rising price and widening spreads. Equally, in a down move, we want to see widening spreads. And you've got a little mini example here. We break away from this region, the spreads widen. That tells us we have some momentum in the move. We've got some effort going into it. Here we have no effort at all. The effort is falling away. The price has tried to rally. It's going nowhere. And we carry on in our what's called the primary trend in Wyckoff. This is our primary trend. And this is what Wyckoff referred to as a secondary trend. In other words, it's a pullback. Then we get down to the bottom of this phase, and then we get the buying clearly coming in of this candle. We got very high volume, relatively narrow spread in relation to the amount of volume that's come in, because it's all down to benchmarking. So we know there's buying coming in here, and then we start to see this trend develop. Off we go up to the upside, and we get decent candles, all the rest of it, and on we go. So that's a very, very quick little VPA lesson. Now, where are we in terms of the daily? Let's go and have a quick look at the daily. It's been selling off quite strongly, and we've got a little bit of buying came in yesterday. You can see that there. The market fell and recovered, so we've got a little bit of buying came in yesterday. So it's not surprising to see we've got a little bounce going on in terms of the daily chart. In addition to that, also looking over to the left of the chart, we've got a potential platform of support because we've got some decent congestion here going back into April and May. And it also bounced here earlier on in early part of June. So we're now seeing potentially another bounce. And then obviously we were looking at the dollar in that context. Just to run through some of the primary indicators that we use for Forex, this is really where you start. This is your window on the world of Forex, because it gives you an instant view, whatever the time frames. I've got 1 minute, 3 minute, and 5 minute here. It can be any time array you like, and you can have as many or as few of these as you wish. I like to have 3 because it gives me a nice spread of time. And what you're looking at here is what the primary currencies are doing across those time frames. So if we focus here on the 5 minute, what's happening here is the dollar, you can see this red line, it's been descending, it's been weakening constantly. It is now moving into an area where it is very strongly oversold. And up at the top here, you've pretty much got the commodity currencies. You've got the Aussie and you've got the New Zealand up here. So they are pretty much overbought at this stage. So they're very strongly overbought. And this is the key with currencies, with currency markets. They will constantly oscillate from overbought to oversold. It is what we call a market of pure mean reversion. And what we mean by that is that these currencies never go to zero, and they are going to be on a constant journey going from strongly overbought to strongly oversold and back again. And all you have to do is wait and be patient. And if you want to get into a trade right now, what you'll be looking at potentially, if you want to get in early, which is what I like to do, you'll be looking at something like the Aussie or the New Zealand, probably against the dollar in this time frame. Because at some point, and I can't tell you when that will be, all I can tell you is it will happen at some point this morning, the Aussie will sell off quite strongly and move back to oversold, and the dollar will start to buy and come back up all the way up to overbought. And when that trend is underway, it will be a very strong trend, particularly if the Aussie is falling strongly and the dollar is rising strongly, which is what we want to see all the time. And you can start to see that the initial perhaps representation of that is the Aussie is now starting to roll over on 3. And if it is going to roll over into 5 and develop into a stronger trend, then you will see that on the chart. And what you want to see is the dollar lifting off as it's starting to do on 1 here. You want to see that lift off here on 3 and ultimately move through into 5. This tells you all you need to know about where to go and look at the charts. It's your radar on the world. It'll tell you which currencies are overbought and oversold, which ones to look at on your chart. It'll also tell you which currencies pairs not to bother with. I mean, I wouldn't bother with the New Zealand Swiss because those two lines, the grey and the green, are moving together. There's no trend in there. Equally, the Euro Swiss, nothing. Euro New Zealand, nothing. Whenever you've got currencies which are moving together, like the pound and the dollar, the yellow line and the red line, they're pretty much moving together now. So there'll be congestion at the moment. So it tells you all you need to know. It's a wonderful, wonderful indicator, and you'll find it on the quantum trading side. So very quickly, let's just hop back onto pound dollar. We've got the VRSI indicator here. We've covered that in previous live streams, so I'm not going to go into it here. You'll find it on earlier ones. But it's a great visual indicator. It works with VPA. It's complementary to VPA. And what it is doing, it is assessing the energy in the trend. And it presents this in this very visual way, this very colorful way, bright colors for strong energy, and then weaker colors for diminishing energy, and also the height of the VRSI bars as well. And I always urge you to use it in conjunction with volume, which I've got below here. So I've got the VRSI above, which is our volume relative strength indicator, and I've got traditional VPA below on the same time frames. So that's it. Oh, and Anna's just reminded me that if you go to the quantum trading site, if you want to find out anything about these indicators, go to the appropriate platform. Let's go to TradingView as an example. And if you go to videos, in the video library, you will find a huge number of, for example, if we click on the VRSI here for TradingView, here we are. These are all the videos I've recorded on the indicators. So there's loads of them to explain the principles, how to use the indicators, and you'll find that on every single platform, whether it's a Ninja, TradeStation, MT4, or as here, TradingView. Just click on that, and that's the video library. And there are hundreds of videos here across all the indicators, so you can get a really good understanding of them before you go ahead and buy. So there we go. That's it. We're done. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will be back. Not sure we're going to be back for next week or the week after because we're taking a break for a little while, but we will be back very soon, and we'll be back on these live stream, which I hope you find useful and enjoyable. So see you soon. Have a great weekend, and bye for now.